My name is Darshini Sriman, and this is Lab 1 for Physics 2212, the Charged Tape Lab. The purpose of this lab is to use the tape to observe interactions between the tape and to determine the excess charge of one piece of tape in comparison to the other. Tape is the object being used to determine the excess charge difference due to interaction. Here are some fundamental concepts. We have Newton's second law, which is force equals mass times acceleration, Coulomb's law, which is the force is equal to electric field times charge, and then the electric field calculation. Then Coulomb's constant is 9 times 10 to the 9th coulombs, and electron charge is assumed to be 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th coulombs. From the experiment, the following was found. Both pieces of tape were positively charged. The tapes repelled each other due to the same charge, and the charge on the tape was 8.59 times 10 to the negative 9th coulombs. For the procedure of the experiment, we prepared two pieces of U-tape that are prepared by taking a piece of base tape and rapidly peeling a top layer of tape off. Two of these were created. Then we observed the interactions between the two U-tapes. And then to determine the charge, we used a plastic pen and ran the pen through a material that would cause the pen to be negatively charged, and then observed the interactions between the pen and the U-tape. Then we floated one U-tape above another and calculated the distance and used these calculations to model 2-point charges. And then this was used to determine the magnitude of the tape. Here are the calculations. The measured value of the tape, or the length, was 0.209 meters, and the distance between the tapes were 0.018 meters. And then the mass is also 2.09 times 10 to the negative 4th kilograms. We made a couple assumptions in order to do these calculations. Number one, each U-tape has the same net charge. And number two, we treated each tape the same, as all charge is concentrated at the center of the tape. This is the code that I used to model the calculations. The results of the experiment were that the calculated value of the model matched the glow circuit value. Both values were followed a similar computation and resulted in the same value, which was 8.59 times 10 to the negative 9. Potential sources of error were the interference with the tape caused by hand, or any conditions such as maybe charges in the air, or any possible random polarizations. What if the tapes were not considered as point charges? For simplification of the charge calculations, the tapes were considered point charges. If they were not, the calculations would be a lot more complicated and would result in different values. Why is it reasonable to assume that the U-tapes have the same charge? The two U-tapes are identical pieces of tape treated with identical conditions. One of them would be more on both of them are both the same charge as well. They're both more positive. It's reasonable to assume that our value for the calculation is somewhat accurate. This can be determined by taking the Q of E and multiplying that by the amount of electrons, which was very close to our value.